I heard that we are doing unrecognizable makeup nowadays, and that is my specialty. Hi there and welcome to another video. I am Raluca. Today I am hopping on the trend of unrecognizable makeup, which is basically a very transformative look that is supposed to change up your features a little bit, make you look unrecognizable and unapproachable. This is my version of it. A halo eye with a smoky eyeliner, very bold eyes, sort of like this cat eye, halo eye, spotlight thing. The skin is also very flawless, very full coverage. And if you want to see how I did this look, it's coming up. Let's start this transformative look with the brows. I'm gonna use the Got To Be Glued gel, hair gel from Schwarzkopf, and I'm gonna use it to stick my brows to my face. It's gonna be a full glam. I'm gonna do everything. From brows to full coverage to very intense eyes. Let's start here by brushing the brows with a spoolie with a little bit of that hair gel. I'm gonna leave it just for a minute, 30 seconds to a minute to dry a little bit. Actually, meanwhile, I'm gonna put the gel on my other brow. So this will get a little bit of time to dry as well. And I'm doing the waiting thing because this is a little bit wet. It needs a little bit of dry time before I can actually brush the brows in the desired shape. And I'm pressing pretty hard, so the goal here is basically to glue them to my face. So I'm brushing them and then sticking them to my face using my finger, flattening them to the skin. This is, if you have really stubborn brows, this gel works amazing. That is cute, that is what I want. And then I'm gonna fill them in as well, which I don't usually do, but then again, this has to be very transformative. I'm gonna take all the steps. Actually, I have this marker from NYX, the Lift and Snatch brow tint pen. I haven't used this one in a while. Just gonna use it to draw some hair strokes, just so they look a little bit fuller, to fill in the sparse areas. This brow actually has some sparse areas that could use this product. Oh, that's actually perfect. I really like how they came out. But I'm gonna put on my bangs back and probably not even gonna be visible. Not really. Let's move on to the eye makeup. I'm gonna do it before the face makeup because it's gonna be heavy. I'm gonna be priming with a little bit of concealer. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour More Than Concealer. Placing a tiny dot of that on my lid. This is very high coverage, so you definitely don't need a lot of it. And I'm gonna blend it in using my finger. I'm gonna do, I think, a combination of a halo eye with the reverse cat eye. I'm gonna use the Naked Wild West palette, I think, for now. I'm not sure if I'm gonna reach for another palette. Probably I'm gonna have to. But for now, this will do because it has some cool tones that I want to reach for. If we're talking about really transformative makeup, I think cool tones are the way to go, because with a cool toned nude eyeshadow, you create depth, you create visual shadow. So that is what I'm aiming for today, to sort of shift the shape of my eye with eyeshadow. So I'm gonna take this nice transition shade, this taupey grayish, and I'm gonna apply it on the inner portion of my lid, in the inner third, let's say, pretty low, pretty close to my lash line, as well as the outer portion. So I'm gonna leave the center of my lid bare because, again, this is gonna be some sort of halo eye. It's gonna be an actual halo eye. On the outer corner, I'm actually gonna bring it a little bit higher up and out. So I'm trying to create the illusion of a bigger lid as well as a longer lid. Since my eyes are rounded in shape, my goal for today is to elongate them. So basically, to go against my natural eye shape, to achieve a very transformative look. So I'm extending them with the eyeshadow. And by the way, the brush that I'm using is my beloved Morphe 507. I've had this one for years and it's still one of my favorite brushes. I'm not even sure if it's available anymore at Morphe. So this is it. This is the eyeshadow blended out, and as you can see, it already sort of creates a little bit of an extension on my eye. And then I'm gonna reach for this silver shade to apply it right in the center of my lid. It creates that spotlight effect. And I'm kind of bringing it up towards my crease And I'm using the brush with no additional eyeshadow on it, just to blend out the edges, so it looks a little bit softer and more diffused. Okay, I want to just deepen things a little bit, make it a little bit more intense, so I'm gonna use this darker gray in the palette, and I'm gonna apply it again on the outer and inner corner, but a little bit lower than the previous shade. This brush is just a no-name brush, but I do like the shape of it because it's tiny, and whenever you apply darker shades, you should reach for a smaller brush. That's unless you want to do a very smoky and apply the dark color all over your lid. That's when you can use a larger brush, but for me today I need a smaller one. So it's going to be a little bit more concentrated and closer to my lash line than the previous shade. And then again diffusing with the previous brush. For my eyeliner, I'm gonna help myself with some Scotch tape. I think this is the easiest way to achieve smoky eyeliner, or perhaps an eyeliner of any kind. I'm gonna stick it starting from the outer corner of my eye towards my temples in an angled shape, however angled you want your eyeliner to be. The trickiest part with this technique is getting the eyeliners on the same angle. You can use the end of your brow as a guide. So for instance, here I have a finger like of space between the Scotch tape and the end of my brow, and I can measure it on this other side and stick it right below my finger, and that's pretty much gonna help you get the angle at the same level on both eyes. Okay, whenever I do smoky liners, I use a pencil and eyeshadow. I'm gonna reach for the Maybelline Tattoo Liner Gel Pencil. This is an amazing black pencil from the drugstore. They do have different colors as well. I have it in brown. It's a very nice one. I'm gonna do the liner just on the outer corner of my eye, because again, I'm looking to elongate my eye. If I was to line my entire lash line, I would emphasize the roundness in my eyes. So when I'm instead just applying it on the outer corner, I make the eye look a little bit more elongated. I'm gonna take a pencil brush and quickly blend it out until it has the chance to dry, because once it's dried out, it's basically impossible to move. And I want to emphasize on that halo effect, so I'm gonna apply just a tiny bit of pencil here, but then again, the center of my lid is gonna stay bare. Especially when you align both inner and outer corner, your eyes are gonna look more extended from the outer corner to the inner corner. Just a tiny bit here makes a huge difference. But now I'm gonna need black eyeshadow, which I don't have in this palette, so I'm gonna have to reach for another palette just to intensify this and set the pencil into place, which is gonna increase longevity as well. Alrighty, I have some black eyeshadow in my NYX Ultimate Shadow Palette. I'm gonna use the same brush. This is a Morphe M149, by the way, another one of my favorites. But then again, I got these brushes years ago. I think I got them in like 2018 or 2019. So a little bit on the outer corner, and also gonna set this portion here very carefully, not to go too overboard, but this brush is very helpful because it has a pointy tip. And I'm just using the tip of the brush to reach this part. And if you don't have a brush like this, you can use even a brow brush. Something like this. An angled, tiny brush. This will also work very well to set this portion right here. And taking my pencil, lining underneath the lashes. Now that both of my eyes are done, it's time for the magic. What is that? Hide somewhere, please. Let's remove the Scotch tape to see what we're left with. Yep, this is definitely thicker. I have a little micellar water on this Q-tip. That's okay, I'm just gonna leave it like this. I'm not a huge fan of false lashes, but today I'm gonna apply some. These are just lashes that I cut in half. I call them half lashes, but I just did them myself, because I'm gonna apply them right on the outer corner of my eye, again to accentuate that extension. First, I'm gonna need a little bit of mascara. I'm gonna use this Avon one, the Lash Genius. I'm not gonna curl my lashes because again, I want them to be extended towards the outer corner, and I also sort of brush them like that towards the outer corner of my eye. So they're gonna be leaning outwards. Never mind that, I'm gonna show you how to get rid of it once it dries out. I'm gonna leave it like this for now, allow it to dry, and then I can remove it. So meanwhile, I'm gonna apply my lashes, just removing the old glue from the band. I'm using the Duo Quick Set lash glue, applying a thin layer of that on the band. Just trying to get them to stick to my outer part of the lash line. I get a few seconds to move them around and get the placement right. I'm really pushing them into my lash line so they will stick. What a difference. This really emphasizes that extension of the eye. I wonder if my mascara had the chance to dry. I'm gonna take a spoolie and wipe this off by gently brushing it away. All clean now. I'm gonna apply a matte full coverage foundation, so I'm gonna need a more hydrating primer. This is a more recent launch, the NYX Face Glue. It's a sticky primer, so it makes the foundation stick to the face as well as it hydrates the skin. Blending it in with my finger. As you can see, my skin is looking very glowy at the moment. I've seen people doing this little experiment. Yeah, it sticks. Anyway, that's crazy. I'm gonna apply the L'Oreal Infallible 32-hour matte wear foundation. Matte cover, actually. And I'm using the shade 115 with warm undertone. I do have a warm undertone. My skin is pretty pale, but I do have a pretty yellowish skin tone. I'm gonna blend it in using my sponge. So full coverage. I am all covered. You can see a trace of my actual skin tone. I'm gonna continue with the concealer, and I'm actually gonna use a color corrector first from Maybelline. A pink color corrector that is gonna brighten my under eyes, because again, I want everything to be cancelled out and flawless. This really brightens. Cancels out the darkness if you have blue dark circles. I think this is perfect for that. This underneath the concealer will really brighten things up, so you will have to use less concealer and the effect is gonna be much more powerful-ish. And for the concealer part, I'm gonna still use this L'Oreal, because again, very full coverage. Just a tiny bit on the inner portion, and on the outer portion of my under eye is more than enough. We're no longer doing the triangle concealer hack from 2016. I do want 2016 makeup to come back, as in like the creativity of it, but not that. Pretty tricky to reach this inner portion area with my sponge, but I do want to cover this area because this is where I get the most discoloration. If I have like a dark blue spot, it's there, it's in the inner corner, so I want to hide that. Let's bronze. I'm gonna use the Revolution cream bronzer. Love this product. I'm using a Real Techniques setting brush, just a small brush that I can use to not get it all over the place, but just keep it underneath my cheekbone here where I want it to stay. I do like it for cream products, even though this brush is not intended to be using this way. It's a setting brush, so it's probably made to set the under eyes with powder, but brushes can be repurposed. Gonna use the leftover on my jawline, slightly drag it down my neck. I did use a little too much here, but it's okay. I am gonna blend it out. And this is a pretty strong makeup. It's fine. Gonna apply some underneath my nose. I'm gonna go for this liquid blush from NYX, the Sweet Cheeks Soft Cheek Tint in the shade Bombshell. I really like this one, even though it's a little bit too dark for me, but I'm using just a tiny bit. And it's gonna be fine. Bombshell. Funny. Look at that. That is pretty. I really like this range. I have multiple shades of this. They're beautiful. Pretty. Let me find a highlighter around. Don't usually use that, but again, today we're going all in. Okay, I have this tiny little guy, the Becca C-Pop, which is very old. Becca doesn't necessarily exist anymore. I think it's Smashbox nowadays. I'm not sure. So this is old. The thing about me, I have no problem using all makeup, especially if it's in a powder form. It's not gonna do any harm. Tapping it with a Sigma F03 brush. It's perfect. Should I maybe apply just a tiny bit on my inner corner as well? I love this look. Moving on, now that we have all the cream products in place, I can set. I figured that I like this powder a lot. The Benefit Professional Powder, I did this video reviewing it. Whenever I apply it over my concealer, it lasts so well. Really like it. I'm gonna take a little eyeshadow brush, a blending eyeshadow brush. This is what I use to set my under eyes. But first, I'm gonna have to blend in these creases. A long time has passed since I applied my concealer, so now it's creasing already. Gently tapping the powder underneath my eyes and bringing it down towards my pores, setting my pores area so it doesn't reflect light. That way my skin is gonna look so much smoother. And you can see from this side to this side, such a beautiful difference. And that's all the setting that I do. I don't set the sides of my face. I have combination to dry skin and I like my cheeks to stay a little bit dewy. Even though with this matte foundation, they're not that dewy. But anyway, I'm just setting this little visual triangle underneath my eyes. Let's go back to the palette to deal with the under eyes. I'm gonna apply the transition. I think I'm gonna do a halo on the lower lash line as well. So applying the transition the same way that I did on my top lid, just on the outer and inner portion. Don't be afraid to bring it a little bit down. Then the darker gray, same thing. Inner portion, but keeping it closer to my lash line. Outer portion, again, close to the lash line. Beautiful. And on the center, applying the Silver Shimmer. It just needs a little bit more of a blend here. Now it's perfect. I'm gonna take the pencil and apply it on my waterline again. Outer portion, inner portion, leaving the center of my lid bare. This will really emphasize on that halo effect. If you have a lighter color pencil, you can apply it right in the center, and I think I have one. I have this little silver pencil, again from Avon, the Power Stay Gel Eyeliner in the shade Silver Shimmer. Very straightforward. Just gonna go right here. It's gonna create a gradient. So I'm gonna do a gradient on the waterline as well. A halo. A spotlight. Whatever you want to call it. Inner corner eyeliner. I do have that pencil already here, but I'm gonna use a liquid eyeliner to emphasize on this extension. So just a tiny bit of a wing here. And this is gonna last a little bit better than the pencil as well. It's the NYX Epic Ink Liner. The eyes are perfection. I really like this look. I'm gonna finish it off with a little bit of mascara on the lower lashes. Careful not to make a mess because this has a pretty big mascara wand. But it has this top part which I can use to coat my lower lashes, bottom lashes, small lashes. This is the face glue setting spray from NYX. First spray went directly on my shoulder. Funny. Let me cook a lip combo. I'm gonna start with the NYX lip pencil in the shade Coffee. Overlining right in the center, right here, just on my cupid's bow. And then following my natural lip line. On the bottom lip, you can do the same, overline right in the center. I usually follow my natural lip line because there's a difference between my top lip and my bottom lip. My top lip is smaller, so I only overline the top lip to create a bit more balance. Okay, that's the lip liner. Lipstick, NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Abu Dhabi. Love, love, love this one. But this is a bit warm tone, so I'm gonna use the Lifter Plump by Maybelline in the shade Pink Sting. It's gonna turn the lip a little bit more cool tone. That's a cute one. Cute lip combo right here. Looks like my everyday lip though. Maybe a little too natural for this look, but the focus is on the eyes. So this is the look all complete. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to actually like it. It helps me out a lot. And subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already. I do a lot of makeup content. If there's anything in particular that you want to see from me, drop your suggestions in the comments below. I am more than happy to hear them. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something today. And I will see you in my next one. Bye!